be honest. You have a lot of synergies just between the Skywrath Mage and not just the Chronosphere Void, but also the Clockwork. You catch someone in cogs, you just drop the ultimate right on top of it, and it's pretty much a dead hero. Clockwork in general also good against heroes like Venomance until the 4-stars come out, Sanking as well, and not to mention the Shadow Shaman. So they have a lot of opportunity to make stuff happen in that regard. On the flip side, Vega Squadron, well, they pull out the Omni Knight. It's not something that they've played in officials as far as I can tell recently. But that's a hero that can just throw things out of whack, in the sense that he provides a lot of sustain, a lot of heal and burst potential. And just the ability to use Repel and kind of make the Skywrath obsolete in time fights, essentially. So, depending on how they play it, they might just be able to surprise Navi.
I don't know. I think Navi's lineup is super strong. Like, the power of Sniper along with Clockwork both being able to initiate on the heroes and make it easy for a Sniper to kill, along with stopping the enemies from jumping on top of the Sniper through the power of Power Cogs and Hookshot, is insane. Coupled with Faceless Void, also another hero, absolutely crazy with Sniper. Like, the amount of workaround they have with this Chronosphere, they're going to absolutely dominate any fight they have Chronosphere up and for. So unless they manage to get the jump on this Faceless Void, their team's not going to do very well in team fights against Navi. I mean,
Roger might be walking into a sentry ward here. They see him up.
I'll just tap him a little bit. Try to secure the rune, but General has other plans, just drops the cogs right on top of it. And at least they get the one last hit. Or the two last hits here, Zayat's also able to get one. But a quick little roster notes before the action really gets going. Of course, Zayat's here on Shadow Shaman, replacing Silent for the time being on the Vega Squadron. And of course, G Arena has been kicked and Dandy is back on the Navi roster.
Rub G Arena.
Yeah.
beat me to it. That G Arena guy played pretty well, but now that the tournaments are ticketed, I guess back to fan favorite Dandy.
Yep.
Mid lane. Dendy looking a little worse for wear here.
Quite a lot of damage coming through at the very least, but no follow-up spells or anything. Unable to really bring him down just yet, but they will be able to burn through his region quite a bit. And force out the rotation. Roger making an appearance mid now. Is there a sentry ward for him? There's one on Sanking.
It was not your fate.
Dandy having to play back a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have the health, and Roger doesn't necessarily have the best impact. Doesn't have the Orb of Venom. He does have boots though, so he can roam a little bit easier, but he's just gonna get stunned out here. Slayer is. Ooh, sorry, go ahead.
They did manage to scout out that sentry ward drop, so Roger's gonna be able to ward that pretty easily. I'm sure he was looking at thinking has placed it, so no mid ward for OD once Roger is to get the money for a sentry ward. I mean, I think he's gonna go for Orb of Venom first, but good catch by him.
One thing that we didn't note though in the early game is that Roger was able to block the dire easy camp pull and take out the sentry ward, so his roaming potential in this area, as well as giving some hopefully get some much needed XP for general for him to come in, for the creep wave to come into him. So good heads up play there for Roger to be able to get that sentry ward without getting his scouted out.
Let's talk a little bit about this bottom lane. Because Omni Knight, we haven't seen that hero too much recently, but generally he's in a 1v1 situation, he's considered to be quite strong. So how do you think he's gonna fare here up against the Faceless Void?
It's a pretty even matchup here. Omni Knight can't do much to harass the Void out. They both have ways to sustain their health. Void obviously with that time walk to negate damage, and Afterlife able to, you know, give his health back. So it kind of goes back and forth each way, as we actually see Slayer being cheeky and stealing some creeps there on that easy camp. So it's kind of even. What's more important here is that Crystallize will be able to get off to a good
That's
start.
our top lane. General might be in trouble. The shackles come off after the slow connect from the lower dance. A lot of damage being done. The last bit of cogs pushes him back, but he's still gonna die to the poison with the one last 80 damage right click from the Shadow Shaman. So first blood actually being spilled up top. Meanwhile in mid, Roger now. He does have his Orb of Venom now, so we'll be able to deal with Slayer a little bit more effectively. Sentry or no sentry.
It looks like they're going to take that sentry out, and easy regen for Roger.
Roger God. He's just got it all this game. Dewarded, got it out that ward. I mean, Empire is probably...
Oh,
Roger. Wow.
wow.
He hasn't started the courier yet, though.
He's
Or he's
about
still
to.
on his bucket list. Yeah.
He's gonna.
If he
get
snipes
SA.
the courier. Alright, never
No,
mind.
They're aware. There's Slayer's dropping back like, oh, there's a Ricky here. Give me your boots. Give me your tangos. I'll ferry them over to UG. What a teammate.
Slayer's been downgraded to courier.
I mean, I think they have like, you know, mini hero couriers. I think Sand King would make a little cute one. Oh, but he gets the sentry ward in response.
So, who do you think is getting the edge here out of this laning stage?
Haste.
I think, I mean, it's better for Navi to try to get their gold going, just because the push will come, and getting those early levels on the Void is very, very important to try to stop this push that's coming in. I believe they might not be able to contest the first tower, but I think the second tier 1 tower is where I guess the game will kind of tilt towards. I don't know what you think, Neff, but I think that stopping this push that's going to come from Vega, it's pretty strong with the Shadow Shaman wards and Venno, will be something that Navi has to address. Maybe not in the first tier 1 tower, but in the second one. What do you think, Neff?
Navi definitely have all the tools they need to deal with this enemy team. Omni Knight was a decent last pick. In the form of Repel, stopping Skyrath made damage, faceless void damage inside the Chronosphere. As long as Omni Knight doesn't get caught out, they have ways to deal with it, but Navi's team fight is just way, way, way too strong in my opinion.
Ooh, Sand King. There's a lot of trouble. Slayer just used the burst strike. Then some comes through, but he's still sitting in shrapnel. He's gonna take after this. Damn. Yeah, Roger, once again, just giving them that intel. He was stalking Slayer the entire way towards the middle lane, and Snako made rotation too, so to make the kill happen.
Yeah, Roger doing exactly what he needs to do. He knows that getting kills is not really his job here. It just needs to stop Slayer from doing whatever he wants and slowing him down. And he's just gonna...
Denny's best friend right now. Apologies for interrupting you. Denny, my friend.
I mean, you want to keep Dendy happy, you know? He's a happy guy anyway, but you keep
Slayer
him happy.
gonna try his luck in top lane. Clockwork gonna get stunned up, follow up the shackles. No cogs to keep everyone away. They still have the Venom Scale. This should be a dead Clockwork, but in a trade,
gonna
only
jump
Roger
in,
here is actually gonna jump into the cogs, gets dusted up. And they're gonna die for him. They get a couple of slows off. Another burst strike will connect, and it'll be a secondary casualty here from Navi. This top lane turning out to be quite advantageous here for the Vega squadron side. Only 3 points up, and Event Wards too. So eventually, this tower will be whittled down. On the back of this.
One thing that did happen there is Roger managed to deny the Clockwork instead of him dying. That's why he jumped in.
Oh, we did.
Yep.
Ah,
Did he?
Roger, you're God, everybody.
I did.
Roger
Yeah.
God.
Sounds really hard to notice, but yeah, good on him. Rather him giving over that money than the Clockwork, I guess. And the levels
Skill
mostly.
And
Yeah.
they might actually set up a kill here on Slayer.
They have dust available here. They also start with good burst strike up to the high ground though. In general, with the cogs also blocking him and Roger.
Unable to keep him in that smoke screen there. Unfortunate.
Unlucky.
Right, so Crystallize is about to hit level 6. You expect him to start using that aggressively, TP to other lanes, get kills, or is this a farming game for the Void?
I think it's mostly going to be a farming game. The only combinations of heroes that he can get a kill on, or kill with, would be with Dendi, to lay someone down in that level 3 shrapnel. Otherwise, they're going to have to be a combination between like Skyrath, Clockwork, and Void. That's the only way that he's going to be able to get any kind of kills. Oh, but he will use it.
A little bit of extra damage coming through. The silence still lasting for a little bit and long enough to prevent any sort of heals. They already used the stick charges earlier. So no level 6 out on Scour of Mage, but they get enough damage in anyway.
Up top.
They do indeed. Gonna take out the Barrier Assault. What we were talking about in the drafts, of Clockwork being so strong against Shadow Shaman in these kind of situations where just catch up, cogs, and there's no counterplay to that.
Jackal. So I want to point out Seneco. They wouldn't have gotten that kill on the Omni-Knight there if Seneco didn't have the skill build that he currently does. He went 2 points into CL, which is a little bit unusual, but it was super effective there. That extra second to give him the time they needed to secure the kill on the Omni-Knight, so he couldn't get his heal off.
And not to mention the extra damage here if Face of Void would get a bash like that. It is magical damage. So it does help of bringing down these pesky heroes. Max level time walk. Yeah. Pretty strong. Seneco TP's out. Slayer and Zayats. Wrapping around here. We want to get some revenge on the Crystallize. We're gonna have to wait for one more hero to come back into it. Could be the OD. But it could also be again the Omni-Knight teleporting back into lane. Crystallize is none the wiser. Might get caught out by this.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, bringing in the OD as well.
X into Shackle. And DOD is the damage source. Should be fairly easy, and it is. Plenty of control here between these heroes, and yeah, it's actually the one taking that money.
Navi, smoke rotation there, and maybe they're gonna find a response kill here.
General can just wait, but now goes for the hook shot here, tries to catch the OD instead. They'll just walk into the ads with then the ultimate rotation. Only the consolation prize with that rotation, I guess, but a kill nonetheless.
Zoning hook shot from General there.
Of course.
Yeah, but Slayer is getting this huge stack here for himself, so gonna be buffing up his own gold income, finishing up. So it's pretty good little bounty for him there. Unable to finish off the big creep, so.
They're coming in here with a bit of a heal.
Yep.
They got some of those.
That for himself.
Almost has the
Slayer,
face bits completed.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Slayer's map presence in the game is pretty amazing as well. Like Navi's responding to it, and especially Roger in particular is responding to it pretty well. But Slayer is just all over the place, and they're constantly having to deal with him. He's everywhere. I'm sure Navi feeling the pressure that he's putting.
And now Roger has kind of abandoned his attempts of keeping track of him, trying to make something else happen. He is level 6 now. Making his way towards top, towards a lower dance, who's had pretty much complete free farm. He is the king of the top lane. Killing an assist to his name as well, sitting at the top of the net worth chart. And now, well, very hard to go on him, is it?
Yeah, they're still waiting on a level 6 from Shaman. I would imagine he's just gonna park himself in the lane now to get that. And it looks like they will be setting up a push here with that sentry ward.
Now, do we want to fight this, or do you just want to try and counter push on the other lanes? I mean, Crystallize's bottom does have another Chronosphere and a Mask of Madness now.
Not sure how they can defend this just yet. They would have to just rotate Dendi, because he's kind of the only hero that can take care of this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So if they wanted to, you know, maybe rotate someone else and give more XP to the mid lane, they could do that, but I think they might just let this go.
You were talking about that earlier. You were saying that they have to let the first tier 1 go pretty much.
Yeah, and they would have to expect that it would be that offlane tower.
Yeah, and they're probably gonna have to let a second one go because Shadow Shaman is just about to hit level 6 and get Serpent Wards. Probably off this creep wave. Yeah, off this next creep wave. That.
Don't even need to use it here with the Plague Wards being spammed out, but so they can even use it for the next tower. I mean, it's offlane tier 1, not exactly important in terms of map control, because you still have the shrine there. All you're really losing is a bit of vision.
Yeah, I would definitely say that even with the Roche change, this the Radiant tier 1, a lot of the time before the Roche was moved into the middle of the river here, it was the Radiant top tier 1 tower was considered the most useless tower in terms of strategic value. I think that may or may not still be in the same case.
Slayer's dead, yeah. Should be. He does have a haste rune just timing out, made it to the tier 2, and actually keep him safe whether he knows it or not. Might still go on him now, and there it is. Silenced. Double silence even from Seneco as well as Roger. And the ultimate dropped to secure that kill. As easy as that. Crystallize down bottom, he sees the zap from the Shadow Shaman, so he time walks away. Doesn't want to get caught out, while the rest of the team is unable to respond, so they will be able to blink away at this tier 1 tower. Bottom lane in return will be threatened, and this they'll drop the wards for sure.
Doesn't look like they're gonna respond to this one. Void just get away.
Yeah,
they're gonna look. Oh, instead they're gonna
Go
look for a
ahead,
kill on
sorry.
Venom. Safe.
Bounty.
Didn't import money. He already has the 4 staff, so really good against a lot of what Navi has in terms of initiation. When you think about the Riki smoke screen and the clockwork, but obviously it's not gonna help you too much against Chronosphere in most circumstances. Crystallize, not really feeling confident enough to walk forward. Doesn't have too much vision in this area. You want down bottom? Okay, Seneko.
Has fallen.
He's trying to stick around here. Thankfully for him, he's fast enough to just walk away. Now TP's towards middle lane. They want to punish Dendi for going out way too fast. Slayer's getting closer and closer to a burst strike, and then he actually turns around as he sees the Venomancer. No way to survive this one in the river of death, as I like to call it.
Attempt was made though. He tried to be out. There's just no way Roger got fast enough for the screen to save him. Unlucky.
Well. Alright, so this game's gonna continue like this, just both teams kind of poking and prodding when the other team isn't responding to the tower pushes and getting a kill here or there. Like, when is this gonna turn into more head-on collision between these teams?
It might turn into it in the mid tier 1. Radiant just let that tier 1 bottom go. Seneko looks like he's gonna get picked off here.
Yeah. I actually need division on him. He's juking and jiving inside the trees, but eventually trying to TP out with the silence is lasting long enough, so good play. Saw the burst strike come out. Zayats with the silence up.
Yeah, but in terms of going forward, I think that it can go one or two ways. Either Navi just waits either for longer to get their items, they wait for Vega to come in, or Navi plays this kind of smoke and pick-off game with General Seneko. Oh, as we're gonna see, Chrono top lane.
They sure got that illusion.
They sure got that illusion.
Oh, it feels bad, man. Second Chrono of the game, I believe.
Yeah, they would have to do that kind of play where they would go for this single pick-off and maybe force a tower push here and there, but looks like that might be just a tad bit delayed.
I'll still get it here, because all 5 of them are RP, and Vega should be realizing this. With the ward, he is scouting out these rotations.
Yeah, I don't really think they care though. They just drop wards on the tier 2 and take that one.
Yeah,
the catapult as well. That tower's dead.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
There should be no glyph available here, actually just used. So I'll delay this somewhat, but no one's TPing back. Actually, they're TPing the shrines. General sitting up for a hook shot and actually finds it on the Sand King, but he doesn't have the burst strike available to get him out of that situation. The tower down below half health. These movements here will at least secure that it won't go down just yet. Roger keeping tabs on these 3 dire heroes. So far so good.
Once that tier... Oh, sorry, yeah. Once the tier 2 tower goes down, they're gonna have control of their jungle though, which helps them quite a bit. Slows down the farm of the heroes on Navi. But this game's pretty...
Oh, they find him actually drop the epicenter hex up. Roger still gets into his ultimate here. Zayat's unable to instantly follow up with the shackles, but... well, that ultimate not doing enough damage to repel them.
Delays the inevitable.
Yep. That was actually a really good play there by Afterlife. He instantly repelled Zayak, so he can make sure that he was able to get his shackles off there. So good heads up play there by Afterlife. But they will. Navi's gonna smoke, but they smoke right under a ward. So we'll see how Vega responds to that.
Dire are scanning.
Probably just gonna dodge it out. In rather defensive positions right now. Afterlife keeping back to the safety of tier 2 tower. G also sticking around there. The only one that's far out is Aloha Dance up top, who doesn't really care about the looks of it. Oh, they do a lot of damage here, but now the repel comes out, the shackles, clockwork. Oh, what do you say to that? Jebaited or something? I don't know. You quite have the power to make that happen.
Yeah, this is now making the items here for Vega Squadron is they've itemized pretty well here early. They went for two Force Staffs, full Hurricane Pike for Venomancer, and as we can see here, Afterlife is also going to go for a Force Staff as well, as wards get dropped in the mid lane and Dendi Shrapnel. Shrapnel? Is that how you say it?
Putting down shrapnel charge.
Using the shrapnel charge,
Using
yes.
the shrapnel ability.
Shrapnel-ing the lane.
Yes,
Question
I'm
mark?
gonna be asked. I'm gonna ask our caster, whose second language is English, how to pronounce
Yeah,
things.
that seems like a good idea.
Seems good, man.
Speaks English with such honeyed and good sounding like words. Much better than me.
When I was younger, I have been told that I speak English better than some native speakers. By native
Really?
speakers,
I mean,
so yeah. But that was a long time
Generally
ago.
speaking, people who learn English as a second language speak it better than those who speak it natively, and that's kind of true for most languages as well, because you learn it very structurally and very grammatically, so you speak it better.
Right now, don't feel special anymore. Thanks, DFB. Oh, dust comes
Good
out.
light.
Slayer is actually in
getting caught out
trouble.
with his dust.
Hookshot comes through. Cogs does have another burst strike now, and the Science just a tap bit too late. He's TPing out, but well, Batter's still going. Will still secure this kill. Almost didn't quite work out there, but Navi managed to find it regardless.
They were able to get it, but Slayer was able to buy his Blink Dagger before that death, so the initiation power is now there for Vega Squadron, so they might be a little bit more comfortable approaching Navi and scouting it up on their own. So I guess
Didn't
everyone-
Ooh, I was just going to say, didn't he opting for the 200 health talent instead of the shrapnel? Yes, so I think he knows that the enemies want to go on him really badly. A decent counter for that. How often do you see the 200 health over the shrapnel DPS though? I feel like it rarely ever happens.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen too often, just because the shrapnel charges. Shrapnel is such a powerful ability, and it does synergize well with his other talents, with the plus 25% cooldown reduction and the plus 4 shrapnel charges. So it's a little bit different. I don't blame him for wanting to be just a little bit tankier. So it's his preference. So I don't fault him too much for that. We'll see what he goes for next.
Basically two
We're gonna
builds,
see a
isn't it?
smoke up from Vega.
Either you go the plus 5 mana region, the shrapnel, the cooldown, and the shrapnel charges. Or like the spell-based build where you spam on assassinates and shrapnels. Or you go the other talents for more of a right-click oriented build. I mean, you also went for the
So
attack
annoying.
speed and will probably go for the attack range as a result as well. But yeah,
I don't
this,
really see much.
yeah,
Oh,
the Vega's
sorry.
losing a lot of time down here because they were smoked up, but Roger was actually in a decent position. He pinged it out, he saw the animation, and he didn't even break the smoke, so it's... Vega didn't even know that they were scouted going down here.
Yeah, but Navi will be taking Roshan here. Oh, what a nice little grab there for Suneko. Using all his mana to help his team do Roshan and then getting a regen for his troubles.
Bottom tower has fallen.
That's just karma, you know? You help your team, and then Ice Rock rewards you. With a nice little rune, but...
Thanks, Ice Frog.
Thanks, Ice Frog. Thank you, Mr. Lizard.
Looks like with his Aegis, Navi is gonna be ready to put the herd onto some objectives, but that's the same idea the Vega Squadron is having.
Are fortified.
It's pushing down a tier 3 glyph already used. Neko starting to farm up some of these walls, but it's going to take quite a while. Unless there's more rotations, and they are coming indeed. Roger. Popping down 2 sentries because... Oh no, that's the sentry and observer. They look very similar somehow.
General TPing in the backline, see if he can find a hook here.
Yeah. Can catch a Venomancer here, that'd be amazing. Epicenter in the front being used though. On to face his Void, Crystallize. Pops his BKB and gets a time walk off in the meantime. Zayat's the first one to fall. Venomancer gets the ultimate off, forces off across. Away from General. Now him and Roger are actually in a little bit of trouble. Ricky will pop the ultimate. General doesn't have that same luxury. Not another... Yeah, there's another burst strike here with the extra bit of mana. They actually end up getting both.
Yeah, that was really good. Good by both teams there. They Clockwork, I was General on his Clockwork, trying to pick someone up from the back line, but Slayer getting the heads up play and getting that stun and Epi off. Basically just getting Crystallized out of the fight, even with that BKB. So
Yeah, still forced
really
to
good
walk
heads
away.
up play there by Vega.
Yep.
But they do trade the tier 2 tower up top bottom, or tier 2 tower top for Dendy there.
I think that went about as well as it could have for Vega Squadron, though. That Faceless Void and Skywrath Mage combo is terrifying. I don't think I went over this earlier, but they have huge pick-off potential, and like forcing the enemy to play by their rules. The Clockwork and Ricky, both really good heroes and good at people. If you separate your supports from the rest of your team, Drag and Drop touched up on how good Clockwork is at catching up Shadow Shaman. It was forced to play around his other heroes a lot. Navi's draft is just so good, but Vega Squadron reaction, being able to jump on that Void, force out his BKB.
They might catch out G here.
I see him farming the Ancients. Roger leading the charge. They see him now into a Chronosphere. Also catches the Riki, but they'll have plenty of damage. Oh, do they? The Repel will dodge quite a bit of that. Follow up with a Burst Strike. He crystallized pops the BKB again with very little health to work with. Trying to commit for this kill, but they just can't. Slayer, well, four stuff away from the right clicks here. Playing around the bash, and they will all survive. That's another BKB charge down in the Chronosphere on cooldown for another 100 seconds. Navi, they're trying to make use of these teamfight combos that they drafted, but they just can't quite find a closer.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit worrying for them just because Crystallize does not have a lot of damage here, but they will find Shadow Shaman.
Well, the hookshot there inside. And helping out with some vision and damage.
It's one of the issues with trying to run your Shadow Shaman by himself when you're up against a Clockwork and Riki. Things like that are just going to happen, as I was talking about a little bit earlier.
I've seen games where a Shadow Shaman can just get away with that and just split push and take Raxes when the other team is not looking.
It's just so frustrating to watch. I mean, certain times there's like nothing you can do about it. Like the whole rest of the team is so much of a threat. Have to accept that Shadow Shaman split push, but I don't think that's the most optimal way of Shadow Shaman. Sort of what people do, especially in pubs, especially in North America. You know what I'm talking about.
You guys would know better than I do.
Yeah, I'm aware of the NA pubs, man.
That's some PTSD swinging in your voice.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't feel like NA pubs, it feels like SA pubs, but what you gonna do about it?
Epicenter being channeled out, they want to find Roger down here. Oh, I think the
just-
blink was cancelled by Rocket Player, so that didn't quite work out. The hookshot will get him close, and now Sanking is the one who's in a lot of trouble. Slayer will be slain after this failed attempt. It's a play from General there, whether he meant to or not. That Rocket Player probably saved the Riki.
Oh, the damage from Dendi.
What the?
Whoa.
Ow. Nice.
Yeah, once Dendi gets his BKB, I think that's when they're gonna push. But they're not gonna get a use out of this Aegis, I don't. Because his BKB is still a little bit away and scary to fight them.
Yeah, but they still might go for a push, just because they know that Epicenter is down for another minute, so they might try to group up here and expend their team fight. Age is going down, but Chrono is back up, so they do have ways to fight. Chrono
There it
down
is.
the mid lane.
Gonna drop everything on Venoman, so this time Roger silenced up the Omni Knight together with Sun Echo afterwards, preventing that counterplay, so they don't just get the one, but 2 kills as well as a tower for their efforts. So this time around, managed to use all the spells in the right places.
Dire's middle tower
I'm calling it now. I'm just gonna say it after the game, Drag and Drop. You know what I'm gonna say.
Oh god. Well, you're the one who's gonna be yelled at by Twitch chat, so I'm fine with it.
They aren't real people.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Wow.
attack.
Twitch chat is love. Twitch chat is life. All praise to Kappa.
Oh
Stop.
god.
Please.
Stop pandering to Twitch chat, it's never a good idea.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Tier 1 the tower dies as well in the bottom. Tier 2 and next one under threat.
Is under attack.
Big squadron without their 2 imp heroes. Feeling comfortable fighting this, but now went back into it. They should find Roger on the side as well, trying to protect himself, but
Bottom tower is under attack.
should die eventually. There it is.
At some point he'll die.
The mischance from the cloud, keeping him safe from G's right clicks, but he said enough is enough. Slapped him down with that ether shock.
I'm sure he just did that because he has some sort of grudge against you. Just wanted to make you look slightly worse.
Well, it looks like the group up for Vega Squadron will be coming in, and we'll see what they can do to force their will here on the Navi Tier 1 tower. Chrono not up for another 30 seconds. Might have to do some delays with the shrapnel charges, but yeah, I imagine this tower will fall.
Are fortified.
Do you think that they'll keep pushing, Neff?
Given that they just dropped wards, I don't think so. Look, they're already starting to scatter. They're terrified of Navi's fight. And Navi's
Yeah.
slowly starting to come online. You have the BKB on the sniper now? Well, I mean, not quite.
denied.
opted to go for. What did he go for?
Venomance,
Sure, he
Still
had more
sticking
gold.
around here, actually. They're wrapping around.
Jeez, Invis here coming in, gets some right clicks, but Chronosphere barely keeping Snake alive for the time being. Now right clicks from Sniper and back, finishes up Slayer. The hook shot control onto the OD. 2-for-1 trade so far, but it's not quite over yet. Roger slowing down the Omni Knight. BKB TP on the Venomancer, barely keeping him alive, but damn. They severely overestimated the strength there, I guess. Which is weird because, as you guys said, up until this point, they've played very fearful, very respectful of this Navi fighting power. But I guess with the Invis OD, they felt they could find an opening.
Yeah, they figured that, okay, we're going to drop the wards here, act like we're going to back up, and then they were just going to wrap around here. But unfortunately, Navi was ready for it. They had the nice chrono. They caught 3 there. I think it was 3, right? The courier might die to the Venom ward, but it's going to expire. But catching that out. So very well played by Navi.
Before they managed
General
to take
looking
down.
for a pick off.
Yeah, just saying, just before they managed to take down the Skywrath, it was super unfortunate for them, that whole fight. Like, just a little bit off being able to take it.
Yeah. Insulaco still died afterwards.
Oh yeah, he
Some random
died just
damage,
as the
but,
Chronosphere
yeah.
ended.
But the big one was the Chronosphere. They need to find a way. Okay, good catch from Roger there as well, finding Zads again. But I think the biggest problem is that Chronosphere indeed. So you either have to catch Crystallize and try and prevent him. It does have the BKB though, so all of your silence tools aren't really going to cut it anymore. Or you have to try and find Sniper, but it's the same story with him.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to catch Sniper, so... I mean, right now they're relying on maybe living through the chrono or stopping Crystallize from getting his... or forcing him low enough where he doesn't want to stay in this fight. But something that we didn't touch up on is that in the mid-tier 1 or mid-tier 2 dire push, Crystallize and Ricky and Seneko were able to both pick up their defusal blades at the same time, so... the Omni presence with that GA, trying to counter out the Chronosphere, will get removed or purged off. It's Navi going for this tier 3 push.
Thank God for that changed Diffusal Blade no longer disabling Repel. If that were the case, I'm sure Vega Squadron wouldn't have drafted those heroes if that were the case, because Void and Ricky control carriers of Diffusal Blade, and Omni Knight was last picked, correct? So I'm sure they wouldn't have done that if that were the case, but if it was, it'd be super bad for them. That Omni save is going to be huge.
Oh, Dindy.
Quick fingers, popping the BKB just when he needed to. It was a 10-second charge, so it still kind of hurts. Vega, we're really hoping for a kill there.
I mean, I think he's mostly picking this up just in case in situations like that where he's going to get picked off or the Venomancer is able to get his ulti. But meanwhile, mid lane, Roger.
Oh, looking for him. There's a hook shot though in the back with the silence. They'll finish off the Shadow Shaman as he tried to wrap around for the interception. Ah, Vega. Not quite finding the right openings. They're making these attempts, but Navi always seems to be one step ahead and always in the right position to counteract that.
Yeah, you just can't send your Shadow Shaman off away from the team, but you sort of need to in time to get the right initiation without being able to scout out the Shadow Shaman, so it's a super hard game for him. Clockwork and Ricky are both so good at dealing with that hero, especially when he tries to run off and do things by himself.
Try to keep the DD rune for somebody, but it turned into an invis.
I really think Vega need to catch this, or this is going to be game for them. Get Aegis and
We're
Sheath
trying.
from this
TP's
road.
coming through. It's not being scattered out just yet by Navi, but never mind the scanning. Ward being taken care of immediately. This Ricky trying to do his best to just delay this. They have to walk inside the ultimate, but hey, Slayer coming through with double barrel strike. Sentry is down. Now the ultimate from the radio BKBs will prevent the damage. Dendy still committing for Roshaba's being chain bashed and clicked out by the Serpent Wards. The Chronosphere in the back though. They'll clean up Vega. 3 heroes down there. Make it a 4th in a moment perhaps, but no. Then he will pick up the Aegis. We'll have to use it right away. It's Venomancer committing for him. Meanwhile, OD in the back will finish up Roger. 4 stars out from both sub parties. Bring this to an end. So Navi, they get a couple of kills. They don't keep a hold of the Aegis, so all they have is the cheese.
I mean, Vega had a really good response to that there. They did about as well as they could have. Navi is so much stronger than them at this their net worth advantage keeps on. They actually, Vega Squadron, even though they traded 3 heroes for the 2 supports, they actually got net worth advantage in that team fight there, just by a little bit. But they got 100 more XP and what was that 11 more gold than Navi in that team fight.
Yay! Slight victories.
Yay.
Roger was
Yay.
actually worth quite a lot. 582 golds. That's what he got for that kill alone.
Yeah, Navi was able to delay that delay Vega from coming in into that Roshan, but Dendi was almost dropped, and they were able to get one more, maybe some more damage there, maybe a purification or just a couple of OD right clicks in there. But Navi doing a good job zoning them out and allowing Dendi to finish that Aegis and get that cheese to couple up with that. This probably will slow down their push. Would imagine this game is going to change one way or another. Don't you think, Nav?
I don't know. It makes things a little bit easier for Vega Squadron. Things aren't going to be as hard as they could be if they got like that Roche without a threat. But that was so close for Vega Squadron. I feel like the game would have really turned around if they just managed to do a little bit more damage to Dendi. As soon as the Roshan died, he picked up the Aegis and then died right afterwards. So they were so close.
Chronosphere in mid, dropping everything, and Afterlife trying to help with the spells, but now that's being defeated off. Slayer with his own ultimate general, hook shotting in, but look at Dendi sitting all the way at the back. He's doing so much damage. Afterlife's gonna get bashed out. Make that 3 assassination on the Venomounts. He makes it to the high ground. Hacks Roger. Trying to bring him down, but Zayats is just dying to the artillery.
That's gonna be game.
It has to be. 4 heroes down.
God, and that Omni Knight, he had to use. Epicenter was used there. Guardian Angel was used just a little bit late. Too much to save the OD. Like, yeah, that's game.
He did ruin Dendi as well.
Yeah.
So that was a foregone conclusion there if they knew about that. That's the strength of the draft that you guys were talking about between the Chronosphere and pretty much everything, right? You have Roger scouting out, you have Suneko's, and you also have the sniper just do a ridiculous amount of damage at this point. Well, this lies eats the cheese just in the nick of time. Damn.
Yum, yum, yum.
Ultimate's being thrown out. General
General
is
going
keeping the Venomounts controlled up with the hook shot, yeah, and he's gonna die. Yield Scepter now on the Omni Knight inside the silence. It's just making it look way too easy. Then with a double kill in the end. They will finish up the second set of racks. And yeah, I guess GG is just a matter of time, is it?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't called it yet, and they do have a buyback on Venomancer, but I'm waiting for them to call it right now.
We're just taking some
Yeah,
time
they're
to think
gonna
about
lose
what
the
went
Pulse.
wrong.
Well, they got caught up in the OD mid. They didn't have vision before that time. Roger was able to pick up a gem, so he was dewarding just a tad. But they didn't have vision, and G getting caught out in the mid lane there just kind of sealed their fate.
Well,
We see
Lasera,
Vega
Epicenter, Burst Strike, 4-star forward in the midst. Not doing too much damage now. The silence on the OD, another Chronosphere combo. It's just being deleted, and that is finally Zayats calling it first. GG, well played. Navi take game number 1 in this best of 3 series.
I'm gonna say it.
Radiant victory.
Navi is back!
Now have
Ugh, well played by them.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Uh,
Ha!
the chat